Hi! So, we are live for my very first Girl Meets Body Q&A live stream. And it's really worked out perfectly. I'm so excited because I was kind of panicking because I'm waiting for, I got a text message from DHL that said that my package from the US is about to arrive in Malta. And all I could think about was they were gonna try to deliver it while I was doing the live broadcast, which wouldn't have been a problem. I would have just stopped it and then started it again. But you know, when you're like gonna do something new, you kind of want everything to go well. So they actually just showed up right before I got on here. So I thought, because it's health supplements, that I could do an unboxing too and talk you through what I got and the reasons why I bought them. And maybe you might find something in this box that you want to get too. So we'll save that for the end, just for anybody who's just mostly interested in hearing about the reduction of period pain, that level of the Q&A. But anybody else who's interested can stay to the end, or if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward all that stuff and you can go right to what I got from iherb.com. So, you guys had some questions about reducing period pain, so I want to talk about that today. It's going to be pretty short and sweet. I just have a list of 5 or 6 of my top tips for reducing period pain. I just wanted to say, kind of a caveat, that something that we won't cover today is talking about endometriosis, which can cause really insane period pain, but we'll probably save that for another Q&A. And then I won't be talking about fibroids either. So I'm just talking about your regular run-of-the-mill period pain, the kind that usually comes with every month. And you may notice as a woman, if you kind of are getting into tracking your cycle or paying attention to your cycle, you may notice that the period pain changes from month to month. It's not always super consistent. Sometimes you may be a person who either one, hasn't noticed, or two, either has consistent, always really bad cramps, or consistent light periods where you don't really have cramping. But for those of us who are really kind of trying to tap into what's going on every month and starting to kind of connect the dots between what happened the month leading up to this period and then the symptoms that you get either during, say, PMS week, or the kind of period cramping that you get at the end of the cycle, you can start to see that some months are better than others, right? Take myself, for example. I know that after the holidays, like the Christmas holidays, I know that after vacation, I know that after I go to the US to stay with my family, where I'm not eating as well as I normally would when I'm at home, if I'm not keeping my self-care rituals, I'm not exercising, I may be drinking some more alcohol, for example, I know that my period cramps that coming month are going to be a lot worse than they would be if I had just stayed the course throughout the month, And it's Laura Bryden, who's the one that I love, says that your period is like your report card for the month, and I really do believe that what comes up with your period that at the end of the month is really your body's report card about how well you treated yourself throughout that month. So that's kind of not only a tip, but the overarching message for all of this really is just remembering that everything that you do during the month bears a really big, really can change the effect of your period cramps and even your PMS as you're leading into period. So all of the symptoms that we take as a given, a lot of the times are just showing up to let us know that something's a bit off balance. So what can we do about that? The first thing that I want to talk about really is diet. Diet is so important. It affects so many things in our body, and our period cramps are part of that as well. PMS is part of that too. And what I see in my practice, I think one of the main reasons why women get pretty intense period cramps is because of an inflammatory diet. So when I say inflammatory diet, kind of very, very briefly talk you through the science of it. So when you eat an inflammatory diet, so foods that cause inflammation in the body, what you find at the end of the month is you have a buildup of compounds called prostaglandins, which are hormone-like compounds that cause the uterus to contract. So the uterus is already contracted, but when it has these prostaglandins and inflammation rampant in the body, what you find is that the cramping is more intense, and then the experience of pain is more intense too. So when I say inflammatory diet, I'm talking about the big culprits. Alcohol is a huge one. There is a direct correlation between the amount that you drink during the month and how bad your period cramps are at the end of the month. Sugar is another big one. Dairy is another big one too. It seems to be from the research that it's, when I say dairy, things like goat's milk and sheep's milk or goat and sheep's cheeses or butters or things like that don't seem to make as big a difference. Meaning that they're better for the body in the end, but you can also replace dairy with things like coconut milk or almond milk, things like that. And then here's an interesting one that I found that I actually have in my diet, and I really want, after reading the research about this and researching this topic, I definitely want to try to take a month of cutting these out of my diet too. That's nightshade vegetables. Which include it's eggplant, peppers, like green peppers, red peppers, tomatoes, and potatoes. Which, when I think of that list, I actually eat a lot of all four of those, and maybe not the eggplant so much, but definitely peppers, tomatoes, and potatoes form a pretty substantial part of my diet, but they can cause a lot of inflammation in the body. So based on the science that I was just telling you about, inflammation, prostaglandins, and uterus contraction, some people recommend cutting out nightshades from your diet for a month and then seeing how your cramps are at the end of the month. So if you have pretty bad cramps, I'd recommend taking a month where you get rid of all of these, the big inflammation ones: alcohol, sugar, dairy, nightshades. I'd also add things like gluten, wheat, and processed foods, and things like conventional meat, conventional fish versus like a wild fish, or grass-fed, something like that. So, you could be reacting to the antibiotics and things like that are in the, and pesticides, things like that, pesticides on your fruit and vegetables. So trying to eat as clean and green for a month and seeing the effects in the next month with your cramps. So that's number one. Number two is a kind of interesting one. Next time, it's really not an immediate thing because it's hard to tell unless you go to a gynecologist, but that is to talk to your doctor about whether you have a backwards tilted uterus or not. So for the most part, the uterus is tilted forward towards the front of the body, but for some people, myself included, the uterus is actually tilted backwards towards the spine or towards the sacrum. If it's just tilted back, it's called retroverted. But sometimes you get, and this is exactly what I have, sometimes you get the uterus kind of not only tilts back, but it has a little bit of a dip or a curve at the top, and that's called retroflexed. And that can cause some extra cramping along the back. So when you get back cramps, it can cause also, because when it's tilted back like that, it can be connected to other things like ligaments and things like that, and there can be a little bit of not quite scar tissue, but just some misalignment within the pelvic floor, within the pelvic region. And so when the uterus starts to swell with blood and gets really kind of crampy and things like that, it can actually start to cause pain in the rest of the pelvic floor too. So what you do is just next time you go to the gynecologist, they would probably tell you, but you can ask, do I have a retroverted uterus? And if you do, if you are someone like me who has a retroverted or retroflexed uterus, something that you can do to help that and help relieve the cramps is as you're getting, you know, close to your cycle, you can just start to massage, just using your hands, just massaging really deeply into the abdomen and the pelvic floor, working your way from the right hip across the lower abdomen and kind of going down all the way towards the vulva. Just really getting in there and increasing the blood flow and starting to clear up some of that like misalignment. It's hard to do yourself. I've heard people go to the Maya abdominal practitioners. There aren't any here in Malta, so I can't necessarily do that, but if you have, you can Google it. If you have one in your area, they can help to correct the imbalance of the uterus and create some more harmony in your pelvis. So that's numero dos. Number 3 is my supplement guide, which is to supplement magnesium, which is something that I recommend that all women do every single day, because magnesium is just such a miracle for menstrual cycle, everything really, and it's involved in so many different processes in our bodies. So I would definitely recommend supplementing with magnesium. Something around 400 milligrams a day is perfect. Magnesium glycinate is the easiest to absorb in your body, but I use personally magnesium citrate because I like the Natural Calm brand. And that's magnesium citrate, but I find that it works really well, and I just put it, I like that it has kind of like a tart taste to it. I use the one that's the raspberry and lemon flavor. Before bed, just mix it up with some water. So it's going to help with your cramps. Also, vitamin B6 will help with your cramps too, but I recommend getting a B vitamin complex and just taking them together. And if you can find B complex that says it's methylated, even better, because it means that it's easier for your body to break down. So number 4 is a slightly controversial one, even though it shouldn't be controversial, and that is using CBD oil. Now, CBD oil, if you're not familiar with it, is cannabinoid oil, and it comes from the cannabis plant. But the THC, so the psychoactive part, has been removed, so it's not like you take it and get high. There's no psychoreactive properties to it at all, and for the most part you can buy it even if you live in a state or a country where marijuana isn't legal. You can usually just buy it on Amazon because there are no THC or psychoactive properties to it. It's actually just it's kind of all the good from the plant. If you're not trying to get high, it can help with chronic pain, chronic fatigue. It can help with menstrual cramps, and there's a lot of different ways to take it. They have CBD oils that you can put on your skin and apply it transdermally, in which case I would do a nice gentle massage around the lower abdomen. And you can also take it as a tincture. I had a vaporizer where you could vaporize it, which I used for anxiety, and it was really helpful. I don't have it with me here in Malta, but it's actually reminding me that I want to get some more of it because I did notice a big difference. So CBD oil can be really awesome for period cramps. And then finally is restorative yoga. I think a lot of you guys probably know that I'm a yoga teacher. My favorite styles of yoga are yin and restorative. So that's all the gentle kind of juicy rolling around on a mat, just kind of pillows and blankets and lots of props and things like that. So there are some restorative poses that are awesome for period cramps. And actually, I'm going to be posting a YouTube video either next week or the week after that's going to be a period cramp restorative yoga class. So look out for that. I'll post the link in our group when that's up and ready to go. So that is it for me, my top tips. Just a little bit of a recap. Number 1, the overarching theme is just to remember that everything you do in a month will show up in your period. Not only is our period just our body's way of trying to reproduce and then getting rid of what happened, what kind of build up over the month, it's also our body's way of detoxifying. So we often don't really think about period as detoxifying. We think about detoxifying sweat and things like that, but period is also a mild detoxification, and so what we ingest, what we breathe, how we treat ourselves through the month, what we put on our skin will also come out in the blood at the end of the month. So keeping that in mind throughout the next month. Also cutting out inflammation in your diet, checking to see whether you have a tilted uterus, supplementing with magnesium or vitamin B6, trying out some CBD oil, and finally trying some restorative yoga postures too can really help. So now the part that I'm really excited about, I'll just say, you know, if you have any questions about any of those tips, if you're like watching the replay or something, you can just ask right in the group right below the video and I will answer them. And now for the unboxing. So this is the stuff that I got from iherb.com. I get it shipped over here to Malta from the US because I find that it's hard to get the products I want here at the health food store. Sometimes they have them, but really a lot of times it's not really what I'm looking for. So I tend to kind of buy in bulk and then I'll get it shipped over here. The annoying thing is because it's not in the EU, I usually have to pay import duty. So for this box, I think I paid €8 for like a $50 or $60 shipment, but the shipping was free, which is a nice surprise. If I pay over a certain amount, then I get free shipping. So I got some different things this time around that I'll show you guys. This isn't different. This is actually just, it's pretty similar. This is, let's see. It's probably backwards, so you're not going to be able to see it, so I'll read it out. It's Paradise Herbs Earth Blend 1 Daily Superfood Multivitamin. And I really like this one because it has minerals, greens, probiotics, and herbs. And if you check this one out, I'll actually link these down below too when I post this video. If you guys want to check out these products, because this is my favorite multivitamin for the reason that one, it's actually really cheap for all the stuff that it has in it. And two, I just love how much stuff is in here. So not only do they have all of my vitamins, you know, nutrients that I need for the day, they have an organic green juice powder in here. There's aqua superfoods that has spirulina, chlorella. There's organic veggies. There's a nature C, so it has like acerola berry, camu camu, acai, goji berries. There's probiotics in here, 100 million probiotics. There's a hot water mushroom extract with shiitake, reishi, maitake, which is not one that I'm familiar with. Hi Tara, good morning. There is a stress and energy blend in here too that has eleuthero, rhodiola, holy basil, ashwagandha. So it's everything. What I love about this, I mean, there's even more berry blends, antioxidants, green tea, liver tonics, milk thistle, and then ginger rhizomes too. So when I found this, I was researching for a long time. I've taken a lot of different multivitamins, and this one ticked all the boxes for me. This was everything that I was looking for in a multivitamin and then some, and it actually cut out a bunch of things that I was taking separately, like mushroom, aqua superfoods like spirulina, things like that. So when I found this and then I figured out how cheap it was, I was like, I have to get this. And the other reason why I love this is because it has no iron in it. And for most people, that's not a good thing because most women, especially menstruating women, need iron. But for me, my family has a hereditary blood condition called hemochromatosis, where your body actually can't process iron and it stores it as ferritin in your internal organs. And I haven't been able to get the genetic test yet to see whether I have it or not. I've had a ferritin test and they said it was fine. It was low. It wasn't too high. But before I get the genetic test, I figured, because I am a meat eater, I think I probably get enough iron just from my diet in general. So I didn't want to get a multivitamin that had iron in it until I get the genetic test to make sure. And so what will happen, I think, is when I do get the genetic test soon, if I don't have hemochromatosis, then they have one that has iron in it too, and I'll just switch to that one. But for now, I love that it has this option. So yeah, paradise herbs. Second thing I got, I'm so excited about. It is gluten-free Masa Harina, and it's because I have been craving corn tortillas to make with my tacos. And I've been trying to eat really well, you know, with gluten-free, and I just don't really like the gluten-free tortillas that I can get here, and they're really expensive, like €6 for a pack of tortillas, which kind of defeats the whole thing about tortillas, is that they're cheap and easy. So I'm gonna try to make some corn flour tortillas this week, and hopefully, I tried to make them with corn flour, and apparently that's not the right thing to do. You need the Masa Harina because it's been treated with lime and it's more alkaline. So I'll let you know how that goes. Next up, we have 2 more things. I got some hemp protein powder from Bob's Red Mill. I wanted to try this one because it was pretty cheap. I haven't really had hemp protein before. I like the price of it. I like that it's not, I used to use whey protein a lot after exercising. I want to try something different. I know that hemp is a complete protein, has a lot of really good amino acids to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try this one out, this brand, and when this bag's done, if I like it and I think that hemp protein is going to be part of my regular, you know, daily routine, then I will buy an organic one next time. That's a little bit more expensive, but you know, I didn't want to pay the extra price and then decide that I don't like hemp protein, because I've had problems with protein powders in the past. I had a few years ago I tried pea protein powder, and it actually gave me a really bad headache every time that I had it. So I just want to give that a try, and if I don't like it, then I haven't wasted too much money. And the last thing is something I'm excited about. It's sunflower lecithin, and I got this because one, it's an emulsifier. It's a emulsifying agent, and I have butter coffees in the morning, or I'll have like a latte, chai latte, and I put my grass-fed butter in it. And if you've ever done the bulletproof coffee or anything like that, you'll know that you usually get this layer of pretty gross oil on the top. And an emulsifying factor like sunflower lecithin is going to help keep it together and keep it creamy. But it seems to have a really high, so naturally occurring phosphatidylcholine. And choline is great for your fertility. Choline is great for your menstrual and hormonal health. You get a lot of choline in egg yolks, which is why I try to eat an egg or 2 every day and make sure that I'm keeping the yolk runny so I can have the choline. The other thing is you get your cholesterol in there, and a lot of people freak out about having high cholesterol, but they don't realize that you need some cholesterol to make your sex hormones, like estrogen, like testosterone, things like that. So I make sure that I get some eggs, but this is going to help get some extra choline in my diet. And then I found that there's 2 other side effects from, not side effects, but benefits from taking this that I didn't know that are going to help me. One is it's supposed to be helpful in reducing anxiety, which I do get anxiety. And then it's supposed to be helpful in reducing eczema, which I get eczema as well. So I'll take this. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm excited about using this tomorrow. It says 1 1/3 tablespoons with a meal, but I'm going to put it in my shakes. And what I read online is it makes them really nice and creamy. So let me know in the comments if you've ever had any of these, sunflower lecithin, hemp protein, if you've ever made some corn tortillas with Masa Harina, and I'll let you know how it goes with all of it. So it was really good doing this first Q&A, first live stream. I'm really excited. I want to make this a regular feature, so what we'll probably do is on Tuesday, I'll ask the question, Tell Me Tuesday, and then on Friday, we'll talk about it in the live stream. And so feel free to ask any questions. And if there's a special topic you want me to talk about, let me know that too. Really digging this group so far. It's, you know, brand new. Oh, what did I say before the eczema? I said it's good for anxiety. So it can really help with reducing anxiety levels. And a lot of people seem to put it in smoothies or put it in shakes or things like that, but I'm going to put it in my coffee in the morning because it's supposed to make it nice and creamy without having to use dairy. Awesome. So I will talk to you guys in the group, and I'll see you later. Bye.